Thanks to everyone for joining us for our weekly press conference with head coach Lance Taylor. The Broncos are coming off a 47-14 win over Rhode Island and head to UMass for their first MAC road test this weekend. Coach, we'll start with an opening statement and we'll take questions.
Saturday was a good win versus a top-ranked FCS opponent in Rhode Island. I thought it was a total team win, played complementary football, and we made plays in all three phases. A lot of people have asked me about the stats, superlatives, all those things. The only stat that matters and we emphasize is going 1-0 every day and each week. I was proud of how our guys prepared and practiced this week, and I think it showed up on game day. I thought our guys played to our standard. Again, we practiced that way. We started fast in the second half, which we made a point of emphasis this week. We had not started fast in the second half in any of our previous games, and there was no let-up. We kept fighting through the second half and played to our standard no matter what the score was or who was in the game. It's time to reset and refocus, back to action and conference play, traveling to UMass this week. This will be their first conference game. I'm sure they are excited to get to conference play. They're 0-0, and then their new season starts, and it's also their homecoming. They're well coached, they have good players, and it will be a great test. But again, our team has to focus on what we can focus on. We must continue to make preparation our separation.
I wanted to ask about the defense. Obviously had a very impressive day Saturday. When did you kind of know that this front seven and the defensive line and the pass rush could be such a disruptive unit? Was it camp? Did you kind of have to see it in games? When did you kind of see like they can really change games for us?
I thought early on as a staff we felt like our defensive front could wreak havoc. We have really good players. The scheme puts them in position to make plays, and then we also have depth at the position, so you can roll those guys and keep them fresh. With all three of those factors, we felt like it was going to be a really good combination. Obviously, when you're going against yourself every single day, and new players, new scheme, new coaches, don't know how that's going to translate once the game starts. But I think again, the way that we practiced and prepared, the way that Coach O'Leary gets guys ready each and every game, and our defensive staff, it has shown up each staff. And they've grown and improved each game, which I'm proud of.
And then I wanted to ask about Avion Chenault. He had his first touchdown catch over the weekend, and he just seems like a guy who kind of like each week he's making another play. He's doing something better in it. I guess what's the ceiling for him for you guys? Like he seems like he can really go places and do things for you guys.
Avion Chenault is a really good player. To be a true freshman, only getting here in June, I think he has excelled. One, I love just his attitude, mentality. He's a great worker, has great work ethic. He's selfless. He's a really good teammate. We ask him to block a ton, dig out safeties, dig out linebackers. He does all the dirty work, or a lot of the dirty work that we ask a lot of our guys to do, but he's very unselfish. It was great to see him get his first touchdown as a Bronco. I think the ceiling is really high on Avion. He's got great size and speed, but with his work ethic and Coach Perkins, really helping him master the tools of his trade, route running, getting off press releases, the top of his route. I think he's going to be a really good player for us.
You talked about Avion Chenault. Talik Williams has had some success early this season as well. How have you kind of seen the passing game develop now that you've named Brock Lowry the starter for the rest of the season?
Been really proud of our offense and the growth and maturity. I think, when you play really quality opponents and you play two Big Ten opponents, sometimes your stats and just production doesn't necessarily show up, but the work has shown up each week and the growth has shown up. And I think what you're starting to see is our offense really start to hit its stride, to get some confidence and a rhythm. I think developing an identity of who we are, who we're going to be, and I think that's always important. And so I think our guys understand that. They know it. Now we can really excel at continuing to grow. And Brock has done a great job, after becoming our starting quarterback. I mean, in this game we had 372 total yards of offense, 216 rush yards. We only punted one time in the game. So offense had a really quality night. Thought they did a great job. But you saw Brock over the last two games. Last week against Toledo, he had 201 passing yards. And this week, he was very efficient. I think he was 75+% completion percentage. So those things are going to help us continue to get better each week.
The offensive line is really starting to kind of settle in now. What have you seen from that group that has really allowed them to have a lot of success so far this season?
I think our O-line group has been the most improved group on our team. We knew that we had a lot of new, young guys, a lot of inexperienced or portal guys that we were going to have to, we're starting 4 new players, new starters up front. Even though you're getting Vandy back, he has played some games. He wasn't a starter last year, so 4 of the 5 are new starters, and we knew it was going to be a work in progress. And I think Coach Pavlik, our offensive line coach, has done a really nice job, really helping those guys continue to grow, but also gel together, all 5 playing as one. And we've had some guys, we've had some rotations. I mean, our center goes out and Raheem Anderson steps in and plays really well. Don't miss a beat. In this game, John Hofer played 4 plays, and then, he comes out because of an injury. Hunter Whiteneck steps in. I thought he played really, really well in Hofer's absence. He really stepped up, took advantage of his opportunity, and, probably earned some more playing time this next week.
Now moving forward, you're completely out of non-conference play. You had the one game against Toledo. Well, how does the mentality change at all now that you're completely done with non-conference games and moving into the dog days of MAC play?
Our mentality really won't change, and that's one of the things that I've really tried to set this year is no matter who we play, no matter the week, no matter where we play, weather, our mentality has to be go 1-0 every day and each week, and then to play to our standard. And I think that you're starting to see that come out. Our guys have taken ownership of that. They really have taken accountability and ownership to, one, hold themselves accountable to the standard, but also hold others accountable to the standard. And the best teams that I've been on is that when you have that player-led leadership. And so, yes, we're going back to conference play. When you play conference games, it's always important, but every game is important. And I think this game is just as important as the next one or the last one, and so we have to prepare with that mindset, because if you get in the emotional roller coaster of preparing, getting high and preparing for big games, and then low, or emotionally, not as motivated for other games, then you're setting yourself up for failure.
Coach, your linebacker core has been strengthened with the return of Dylan Moore and Dominic Moon. It was pretty thin there to start the season with just Camden and Cepha back there. So what can you say about the linebacker group?
I think our linebacker group as a whole, has played really well. You're exactly right. Early in the season, you just saw Cepha and James Camden. They played really well, but didn't really have much depth behind them. Now we've gotten 2 guys back, Dominic Moon and Demo. I think both of those guys are stepping in, playing really well. Gabe Welch has also, played some snaps there, and so we're able to get a rotation, keep guys healthy and fresh. And I think James Camden and Cepha are really coming into their own. They've played well, but they've improved each and every week. This was James Camden's best week. He played really well. He was a captain for us on Saturday. He started to be a leader for us. Him and Cepha really commanding the defense, making the calls, them getting, helping get people lined up, and then making the pre-snap adjustments on the field as players has been critical.
Coach, you have 18 sacks in 5 games. I believe that's really close to your season total of a year ago. Is that a product of the scheme or the coaching or the players?
I think it's a product of all 3. When you have 18 sacks, it really starts with the players. You have to have really good players. They have to buy into what you're doing. They have to be committed to work every single week. And really it has to show up on game day in terms of how they play with great energy and execution. I think it also starts with, or the next piece is you have to have great coaches who are going to help motivate those guys, help them learn the scheme, and then it comes down to scheme. To me, scheme is last because it's players over plays.
Seems like you're getting most of those without additional pass rushers. Most of it's coming with your front 4, occasionally a blitzing linebacker or safety.
Well, I think one of the things that Coach O'Leary has done a really nice job of is mixing our fronts and our coverages and our pressures. And I think that, he's done a really good job as a teacher and communicator. When you have that much defense in, it's tough for our, players to master all of those things with the reps that you have in season. But I think he and the defensive staff have done a really nice job teaching and communicating our guys. But our players have really spent extra time, during training camp, even during summer. I mean, learning the new scheme, started in spring ball, and then, as you get the new transfers in the second transfer window, they came in the summer, and they were up here, trying to learn the new system. And I think it's really a product of their buy-in and commitment and wanting to be great.
Another part of the defense is your takeaways. You've got 8 of them. You're +2 in the turnover margin. How much of an impact has that had in your start?
Takeaways are huge. We talk about it every single week. We have to protect the ball offensively, and when we have the ball, the ball is the program. And then, when we're on defense, we have to take the ball away. And I think that they've done an excellent job taking the ball away, whether it's interceptions, whether it's fumble recoveries. Our guys are playing really hard and together. I think one of the things that I'm most proud of is no matter where the ball is, our defense shows up with 11 hats swarming to the ball.
I know you watched some tape on UMass. They don't have a win yet, but it's a new season for them. Their MAC opener and homecoming and that sort of thing. What do you see in them? I do see they have a wide receiver with 30 catches already, so he seems to be a primary target for their quarterbacks.
Yeah, I think on offense, their running back, Rocco Griffin, is a really good player. I think he really understands their scheme well. He makes really good cuts, runs behind his pads, yards after contact. He is very productive in the run game. And then in the pass game, Jaquan Gibson, I think he leads the MAC in receptions. He's a dynamic player. They try to get him the ball different ways. They move him around. They use a ton of shifts and motions, which, creates, communication and confusion. And then on the defensive side of the ball, their linebacker, Timmy Hines-Peter, leads them in tackles, tackle for loss, and I think tied for interceptions. Versus Missouri, Hines-Peter had 17 tackles, 1 sack, 2 TFLs, and 1 interception in one game. The other thing that I would tell you is in the Missouri game, a nationally ranked team, SEC opponent, they go there. With 40 seconds left in the half, the game was 7-6. They go in down 14-6 at half, so they played a really great half against a really good football team that's nationally ranked, an SEC opponent. That's really tough to do. They've had a hard schedule. They've played some tough teams, and I think they will be motivated this week getting into their conference play. You can throw records out of the window. Really, it matters, who shows up and has great effort and execution this Saturday.
And you've moved Raheem Anderson into that starting center spot. Liam Vaughn did get some snaps. How did he look? He's a true freshman in there. How did he look?
Yeah, Liam looked really good. I think one of the things in this game that I was proud of or noticed was, there were a lot of firsts or new names and faces. I thought guys stepped up, took advantage of their opportunity. You just mentioned, Vaughn. The other guys to me that stepped up in this game, our running back group, Lolo and Devin Miles. We mentioned Avion Chenault earlier, Hunter Whiteneck. We mentioned those two. On defense, Will Gehrig played an excellent, outstanding game. He showed up. He's earned more reps. He did an excellent job. Marcel Tyler had his first sack of the season. He had 2 sacks on the night. Micah Davis, his first interception with a really good return. And then on special teams, Gabe Welch and Braden Steely have shown up in the coverage units and playing really hard.
And then last, how about Jalen Buckley? Did not play last week. How's he coming along?
Yeah, Jalen Buckley is really day-to-day. He was questionable last week. Did not play him on game day. Did not play him at all. But really proud of the backs that stepped up. It will be the same this week. He had the wrist and the ankle, but he will be day-to-day. Hoping to get him back. Hoping to get him back to practice. But we'll see how he feels on Tuesday.
Similar one here. You mentioned John Hofer went out. I was curious about his status for this week and going forward.
Yeah, same thing. I actually just saw John, in the training room downstairs. John is tough. He's competitive. He's one of our leaders. Same thing with Buckley. Both of those guys, they're tough as nails. They're going to help. They're going to try to play for their team if possible. And so I know Hofer will do everything that he can to get back. He'll be day to day, but it'll go all the way to game day whether either of those guys play.
All right. Thank you, Coach.
Thank you, guys.